Hello and welcome back to Designs by Danny. So I've got a few emails asking a few questions, so I'm going to quickly answer these and then we're going to move on to a new piece. So yes, I am in America. Yes, I am an American citizen. I was raised overseas because my daddy was in the Navy. So I was raised in Australia and the UK, and then we moved around to Guam, Philippines, Korea, Okinawa, many states. So that is why I have the accent. Second of all, I am in, again, the United States. I'm right outside Fort Knox, Kentucky. I am in the military. So the Army brought me down here about a year ago. And so I'm a reservist. And I think I've answered everyone's questions. So enough about me. Let's start with the good things. And if you do like my video, please like and subscribe and make sure you hit that little bell so that way when I do upload new videos, you know. Alright, so let's get started. So what we're going to be doing is creating a rustic centerpiece. This here are flowers that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree. There's 6 stems, or 6 flowers on each. And so I've got 2 of them. Not quite certain if we're going to need both, but just in case. And then unfortunately these are from another craft that I had done, but I got these from Dollar General and it had like 5 big buds on it, if you will. And I paid $3. These here were from the Dollar General and they were marked off. I'm not quite certain if you can see it, but it was only 60 cents. But when I got to the register, I actually paid 45 cents. So there's that. We are going to use some water, some tulle, and this is the sparkly kind, because if you've watched my channel enough, you'll see that I love sparkles. And styrofoam, and I use glue sticks from the from Walmart, and I pay like $4 for 100 of them. Sometimes those last and sometimes they don't. The other thing is I got these little tea lights from the Dollar Tree. They came in a pack of I think 6 for $1. So first things first, we need to figure out where we want to put our glasses. Now I could put them on the edge or I can put them in the center. The one that really speaks to me is to put them like this, so that way we can put our styrofoam straight into here and fill it with flowers. And because we are going to have an open flame with the tea light, I prefer to have the flowers in the center rather than having them like here and then having flower, 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 just in case. So for safety, we're going to put them there. Now, you can glue these with E6000. Mine's almost half done. But I'm not going to glue them down because I will be using these in a different craft. And not only that, when it comes time for you to actually use this, it's a lot easier to pour the water here and get your tea light popped in and get it lit. And you can actually take those out and keep this as just the flowers and then put other candles there. So this is the reason why I will not be gluing these down. So let's set these off to the side because we don't need them at this precise moment. So what I normally do is I take the stems. Now these are not the best flowers, but they work. First thing is I take the tags off. It's quite hard to get the leaves moved up if the tag is still on it. So then all I do is basically push up the green to the top of the flower. And then I just do that to all of them. Well, that one there is a bit torn apart, so we won't be using that one. And then this one here, it doesn't have a green, which is fine because it's just the bud. It's just a very small one. Again, push it up, and I pull it down, and then I push this one up, and I pull that one down. So some people use wire cutters. I prefer a tool that we get in the army. It's called a Gerber. And it's really awesome because it's got all these different tools on the inside. It just cuts cleaner and quicker. So being that our styrofoam is inside of here, I don't necessarily need a whole bunch of the stem. So what I normally do is I will cut a little bit further down. Now my Gerber is going to prove me wrong. There we go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to take the little bud, and yes, I'm going to cut it off, but I'm going to cut it off a lot further than what I've cut the other ones. Now what I do is, being that this one is so completely torn apart, I just take it off and then I close all these back up. And you're probably wondering why. Because there's a lot of things that you can use this for. And I think it's a waste to throw it away when I know I'll need it again. So I have a basket over here that I just pop them in. So we have our 4 full flowers. Here's the 4 full pink roses that we just cut from the stems. And then I also have the bud. So I'm gonna hold off, and I'm not going to cut these yet because I don't know if we're going to need them just yet. So I don't want to cut them off and then I lose them. So now to these. So as you can see, this comes with several stems. So normally what I do is I will cut, you could cut, but I prefer to just pop them off like so. And there's the other one. And do the same with this one. So now we have to think about where we want to start putting our flowers. Now, I personally like to put the nice big full ones up on the top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this off to the side. Oh, by the way, let me show you. This was my mother's Lazy Susan that used to sit in the middle of her kitchen table all the time with the napkins and then the salt and the pepper. And I didn't know what to do with it, but I didn't want to get rid of it. So I was at the store and I wanted to buy a Lazy Susie so that way when I'm creating flower pieces, I can just turn it. And I didn't want to pay $30 for the really nice one that I seen. So then I started thinking, why not just use this? And this, believe it or not, is just the bottom of a pizza. So when I'm doing something, I can still spin. And sometimes when I get really into my craft, I will actually put my scissors under here because I have a habit of putting them down and then I'm doing this number looking for them. So I know to always reach underneath. Okay, so we're gonna move, you know what? I'll leave this here. So that way it's a lot easier for you to see. Now I gotta move all my flowers off to the side here so I can actually reach them. Alright, so let's get started. I'm very excited. So the other thing that I have found is by putting glue on the stems. It's never too late for coffee. So normally what I do is I will just put a little bit of glue on the bottom of the stem so that way it sticks into the styrofoam nice and tight and I don't have to worry about, you know, if it falls over, my flowers fall out. So all I do is I put just about a pea size on it like that, and then I figure, okay, I want it to go right there. Now I've had people ask why I don't push it all the way down, and the reason why is because when we're all done, we're going to put this tool in, and that will give me space to put more tool rather than it being so sunken down. Second of all, if you take this and you put this in, yes, you can see the green for now, but when I'm all done, you won't. And you don't want to push everything down and then you've got these two big green glasses and it just looks off balance. So that is why I am not putting my flowers all the way to the bottom. So what we're going to do, I think I should cut the other 4 or 5, but let's keep going. Again, a little piece size of hot glue. And then I place it on the top on the other corner, which is the right side. That one I put a little too far in. There we go. So then now I'm going to turn it around and now I'm going to put them here, which is on the top, on the far left and the far right. Again, a little bit, just about a pea size. And as you can see, I'm putting it on the corner. And I go like this to make sure that the flowers are somewhat equal. I don't want one up here and one down here and then it will look messy. All right, so here's the 4th one. Again, a little pea size. And it's going to go on the right side in the corner. Now we don't have to worry about too much of here because again, this, it sits right in and you can't see the styrofoam over here yet. So what we're going to do there is put the tool and then I'm going to get some very small little pink flowers and we'll put them on the sides. So let's do this. Let me move this to the side for a moment because we need to cut these. I'm going to need these because I want to fill it in. So again, I just stretch it out, bring them back to life. Well, not really life, but more lifelike. And then I cut. There's one. 2. Excuse me. 3. I love how my Gerber is showing me to be a liar right now. All day today I've been creating things and they just pop. Like it just cuts. Maybe it's camera shy. So that's 3. Here's 4. If this continues, then I'm just going to get my regular wire cutters. I don't know about anybody watching this, but the pollen is quite a lot down here at the moment. And so if you hear me sniffling, I truly do apologize, but the pollen is really starting to get to my allergies. That's also why I've got my drink out here, because the allergies kind of make my throat a little bit sore. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. Again, I saved my green stems. Okay, so we can put that off to the side. Let me bring my, excuse me. Now we bring our piece back over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to fill in on the 4 corners, or I'm sorry, not the 4 corners, but we've already put them on the 4 corners. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the long sides of this square. So again, petal or a flower, a little bit of glue, and I think we'll put this one between these 2 flowers. See? So now I've got 3 flowers, which means I'm going to put another one here I'll put one here and one here, and that'll pretty much fill out our outer perimeter of our square. Flower, some glue, and I think we'll put this one between these two flowers. Spin her around. Take another of my pink roses, some hot glue, and we're going to put this one in between these two. Check and make sure that they're all somewhat equal. All right, and so we've got one more to put right here in the front. Well, it may not be the front, but right now it's the front. That's all the amount of glue that I'm putting on. Very small amount. And then I bring it over. And I put it in. So now we've got all of the perimeter covered with the pink and white roses. So there's that. Now we're going to move on to our little buds. Here's one bud, and I'm going to take the green off of this bud because I want them to be somewhat similar. So what I'm going to do with these is these two will go in the center of our perimeter. Let me take this down because I feel like you can't really see the top of it. So we're going to put it inside here, but put them a little bit like in a V shape, and that way it'll give us room for these flowers. Again, glue. And then I want to make sure that I don't glue any of the petals, so I make sure I separate the petals. And then my other bud, and glue. Again, I separate the petals and the leaves down inside, and there. So this one here is all lonely by itself, but I'm sure we'll find a friend for it. So now, see, the one thing I like about my crafts is that I may have an idea about what I'm going to do, but then as I started, I get other ideas. So what I was thinking is, let's see if we can put our rose inside of those, because you know all flowers have this little hole right here, and I think that would look so darling. No, but what you can do is, again, you can see that it has the little hole, and all you have to do is snip one corner eventually. And what that does is it opens it up, the little circle here, it opens it up. And at that point, you can basically put just a small bit of glue in that circle. And the reason why is then you can take your flower and put it in the open slot, and now it doesn't look so lonely. Isn't that very pretty? So what I want to do is I want to put this in the center. So remember how a few moments ago I said that it's good to save your greens, the stems I mean? It's because sometimes, like just now, I didn't cut it far enough. So what I can do is I can pull this out. See, that's the stem that was in there. And I can reach over and I can grab one of my other ones. Well, that one's entirely too large. There we go. And so what I can do is I can then cut this for about as tall as I think I'd like it, which I'm to say about 2 inches. Okay. And then I just repeat the process of what I just did. What you can do is you take the rose, and obviously it's in 2 pieces now. You put the greens on first. Okay, so there's the stem coming through. And then I just take my rose with the opening part here and I put it back on. So there you go. And then I just push down. Now, being that we attempted to put this around it, and then I realized that the metal wasn't, or the metal part was not long enough. So what we're going to do now is, again, re-glue it. Just like I had done a few moments ago. And then squeeze it back in there and push it up. And then put our flowers, the hydrangeas, around it. So now my stem is long enough to go into the center of our flowers here and have a little bit of height. So what we're going to do is, again, glue on the bottom of the stem. Now this one I put just a tad bit more than my other ones, and that is because it's going to be sitting up a little bit. And there you go. I think it looks darling already, but to me, a girl is not fully dressed unless she sparkles. So there's gonna be some pretties. So let's set this off to the side. I'm whipping. So a quick, easy way that I found out on how to put the tool into things, a basic toothpick. And I'll show you how. This was actually another question that I had gotten, is how did I make the shiny tool? I bought the shiny tool, such as it is, at Walmart for, I believe, $1.97. And they've got several like that. Here's the purple, very shimmery. I've got red, purple, blue, yellow. So I don't really measure this out, but if I had to, it's basically one of my hands, which is probably only about maybe 3 inches across. And then I just cut. I just randomly cut squares. They don't have to be perfect, but squares. So I'm really big into even numbers. I don't particularly care for odd numbers. So I start out with 4. So I will cut 4. There's 2, 3, and then we'll set that off to the side because there's my 4th one. Now, for this, you take your square and you basically pinch the center. See, I'm pinching, and then I turn it this way, and that's it. Very simple. Let me show you again. I'll go a little bit slower so that way you can see it. There's our tool. I pinch the center, I turn it, and then I basically make a circle with my, a ring with my fingers, and I just pull up. Now this little piece here, that is where the toothpick comes in. I've seen some people where they just put glue here and then they put it into the piece. I don't like that. I'd rather take that little extra step. So you take the toothpick, and I lost my glue stick. There you go. And you just put a little bit, because if you put too much, you're going to burn your fingers. Believe me, I've done it. So that's all the glue that I've put on it. So what I do is I take the tool and I lay the toothpick into it, And then I just let the glue cool for a few moments. And then I just kind of spin it around on it. And there you go. It's stuck. So let's make another one and pull on my tool. So there's one. And these are just regular toothpicks. I think I got these from the Dollar Tree quite a while back. Again, there's our square. I pinch the center, flip it, pull, use the ring or make a ring, and there we go. So then I take my toothpick, again, a little bit of glue. I blow it off a little bit because you can literally burn fingerprints off, I think. And then I just stick it in, give it a few seconds, and then I pinch around it. And that is just to create the fluffiness of it. And there's our second one. So here's number 4. I pinch, eventually. I pinch, flip, make a ring, slide up, then I got my little piece at the bottom here. Another toothpick. And then I stick it in there, give it about a second or two, and then I just pinch. Third one. If you're doing this with me and you're able to follow me, then good job. If you have any questions about how I'm doing this, just shoot me an email, or you can leave a comment on this video, and I will make a video just of showing how to do this, and I'll go really, really slow. I know when I first started with crafts, I would watch YouTube videos like 5 seconds by 5 seconds by 5 seconds, because I wanted to copy what the crafter had done. So again, square, pinch the center, flip it over, and there's the ring. And then we got this little piece. Toothpick. I set it, and then I pinch. Well, sometimes it comes off in your fingers, especially if you've touched it before it's gotten a little bit cool. So there you go. We've got our 4th one. So let's bring our beautiful piece back over. Now, normally what I do is I start with putting them in the 4 corners of the piece. If it's a circle piece, then I kind of position it like 12, 3, 6, and 9. So for this one, we're going to put 1. Now, remember, we had the outer ring, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this close to the outer ring and then push it in. See, there's 1. So let's turn it. Let's grab another one of our pretty sparklies. Now we're going to put it in the other corner. Sometimes you'll have to lift the petals up to get behind it. And we push that one in. Now you don't want to push them all the way in, because then you kind of lose the height and the pretties of the tool. So I normally just push them in long and far enough so that way the toothpick is quite deep into the styrofoam, and that's about it. I feel like I'm parting the seeds to put my tool in. If you can hear my stomach, it's because I'm hungry. I have not taken the dinner yet. So now we've got 3 of the 4 sides done. So let's pull our last one out and move the flowers and the greenery. and push it in. So now we have 4 pieces of tulle. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can stop there. It will look nice in our piece. However, I don't like that showing. And I'd like to think that if I received something like this, I wouldn't want to see the styrofoam either. Now, what we can do is we can take the remaining 2 that we have and we can push them in there. So again, you pull your extra ones so that way you've got something to stick into it. And then you don't need a very long piece. About 1 inch is enough. We almost didn't have a glass for a piece. Right, there's 1. And there's our second one. So, just like on the flower, it has the hole. You basically take the wire piece. It's quite hard to do this in this way, but let me get it started for you. There we go. Possibly? Maybe? Yes. And you basically just push it through the hole. It's a tad warm in here right now. So let's see if I can do this again without knocking things over. Right, so here's the green wire stem that comes from the flowers. And you basically just locate the hole on the very bottom. And then you put this into it. And there you go. So let me go grab our 2 little pink flowers that will go on the sides. So I got these, which I got from Dollar Tree a while ago, and as you can see, I've used some of the flowers, and that's what it is. It's just wildflowers. So we're definitely going to use some of these, but I think we're going to put some more of these in. I think that would look quite pretty on the sides. Let me go get my other wire cutters. Just the old wire cutters. So there's 1. Now, so what I'm thinking is we'll put this and then we'll put a pink one on each side of it. And that'll definitely take up the white space. Now we don't have to worry about 2 of them because 2 of them will be against the metal. See? So when you put it in, you won't see the front and the back. You're only going to see the sides. So we only have to worry about 2 of the 4 sides. Alright. I almost forgot what part I was at. So there we go. And I'm going to cut all 4 of them. Again, 2 for each side. Set this off to the side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of this one. Lift our piece up and I'm going to put it in the center. Almost the center. And then I'm going to take the pink roses again, and again a little bit of glue, You don't have to use glue, but I feel so much more confident that my flowers are not going to come out, even though I'm pushing them in quite deep. I like putting the glue. So grab our next one. So let me give you a hint or a tip. If you go somewhere and you get flowers and they're a bit wonky, like they're folded over or whatnot, spray them very lightly with water and then use a blow dryer on the lowest setting and just kind of blow dry them. It's almost like ironing your flowers. All right, so we got the front done. Now we're going to do the other side. Same process. Glue. Find the center and push it in. Now we're going to take our flowers again, glue, put this on one side, and then push in. Now you want to push these ones in all the way because you're going to have these sitting beside it. All right, and then we have this one. And we place it on the other side. What do you think? Okay, so now that we've got that done, what we're going to do is pull regular tulle. So these are remnants of a veil that I made, and as you can see, it's got little Swarovski crystals. Again, they're just remnants I put together, and then I wanted to cut it a little bit shorter. So I've got 4 of these, and all that we're going to do is basically the same thing that we had done with the other pieces. Make sure that the Swarovski crystals are facing out, and you are going to pinch in the center. See? Another toothpick, some glue, put it on there, and pinch. Now, as you'll see, I don't make the cuts perfect because I don't want it to look perfect. I want it to look full, and that had quite a bit of glue on it. So let's pull out the next one. There's the crystals. I'm pinching behind the crystals, flipping, and there's the ring. Sometimes I burn my fingers because I'm impatient. There we go. Let's grab the next one. Pinch, flip. There we go. Stick it in there. Pat my fingers on just about every one that we've done so far because I'm impatient. There we go. And we've got one left. So there you go. If this video helps you, please leave me a comment so I know that I'm doing something right, I guess. So let me clean the glue off my fingers because they will stick to the tool. Right, so as you can see, we have some empty spots here. Now granted, that'll be in front of the piece. However, I still want to put one here, which is on the right side, and then I grab another one and I put it on the left side. Then I turn it over and I do the same thing. One on the right side, and one on the left. There. So now let's pull our piece. So he sets it in, and as you can see, it's sticking up a little bit, but once we glue it and push it down, whoops, I almost dropped it. What is my problem tonight? So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. We're going to use some of our E6000 and basically just go little circles around the edges. You don't need to go glue crazy, because once we put this on it, then we would turn around and we will put hot glue, which will also help it stick. I look at it this way: the hot glue is for fast, and this is for lasting. So again, we go back in with the glue gun, and if you want to go crazy with the glue gun at that point, that's fine. I usually just squirt my way around. Okay, and now we flip it. Try not to glue your hands. Now remember, this part goes up against here. So it's in, and just take your index fingers and reach inside, and then just hold for a few seconds, because you know we are using hot glue, and so I think that if you hold it down, it will actually get a more permanent hold. I don't want to say permanent because you can rip it off, I'm quite certain. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. Right. I love the little, I call them the little glue spider webs. Alright, so we have it on. Okay, so now we've got the glasses. Put one there, one there. So I brought water. I don't want to crush the flowers that we just put in there, you know. Fill the other one. Now, because I'm really big about the details, I will look here and say, okay, this one doesn't have as much water as that one. So let's add a little bit more. I added too much on that side, so now we've got to add more on this side. Okay, so here are the little tea lights. And all I do is I reach down and I pull the wick up, because that's what I'm going to use. First things first, because they come out of here so easily, I will lift it up. I will take a little bit of glue on the middle disc, and then I will pop it back in so it sticks. Second one. Again, a little bit of glue right there on the metal disc, and then I take the little holder and I push it in. Because I'm not quite certain if you would call it crazy or stupid to try to light this in my hand and then try to get it in here. So I grab it by the wick, I pop it in. The other one, I pop it in. And then I just take a regular wooden skew, not quite certain how to say that one. And I've got a candle here. It's a tad bit warm. So all I do is light the end of it, and I've got a flame. And I saved some of the water so I can put that in and kill the fire. Now you can go one step further, which I am. And I have this glitter that came from Walmart. I can't recall the price exactly, but I think it was like $3. And I just put a little bit in my hand. Don't sprinkle it into the flame. Sprinkle it into the water. Again, just a little bit. Take it by my fingers and I sprinkle it into the water. So let me move everything out of the way. And there is your piece. So let me move all my junk out. I'm going to turn the lights off so you can see what it looks like. Now imagine that sitting on your table for a wedding or a birthday party, any special event really. What do you think? Let's turn some lights back on here. Sorry. All right. So again, thank you for sticking with me and watching me make this very beautiful piece. I will post this and I will put this on my website also. Everything that I make, it's for sale and it's on my website. If you have any questions or you want to know how much something is, you can shoot me a message or you can click on the link to my website. I do offer shipping only in the United States or Canada. And I think that's it. But again, if you like my video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you click that little bell so that way you get notified when I've uploaded something. Bye.